Welcome to the video on the respiratory system. We're going to start by taking a look at the purpose. When you think respiratory system, you think lungs. It's the main organ in your respiratory system. And the purpose of having lungs, the purpose of breathing, is to get oxygen into your body and to get CO2 out of the body. The whole reason you need oxygen is to make ATP. ATP is energy that you need to carry out all your life functions, to carry out metabolism. So if you do have oxygen, you can make a lot of ATP, 36, due to aerobic respiration. Without it, though, you only make 2, and that's not going to be enough ATP to sustain your metabolism. To get this air into the body, you're going to breathe in through your nose. And there's a few reasons why you do that. If you ever had a cold and you breathe in through your mouth the whole night, your mouth feels horrible the next morning because it feels super dry. Sometimes it's even hard to swallow because it's so dry. Your nose, that doesn't happen because you have mucus. The mucus in your nose keeps the membrane, your nasal membrane, moist, and it also helps moisten the air that comes into your body. And that's huge, so your lungs don't get dried out as well. There's another reason you also breathe in through your nose. The mucus has a second function. It helps filter and clean the air, along with the nose hairs that each and every one of us have, or will have. A third reason, you have all these little blood vessels. If you ever get hit in the nose, you know you have blood vessels in there. Those are called capillaries. And all that blood helps warm the air as it comes into your body. You have big blood vessels in your groin, under your armpits. Blood transports heat. So if you want to warm your fingertips up, you put them under your armpits. You put them in the groin area because there's a lot of heat there due to the blood. So when you breathe the air in, it's going to go in through your nostril, into the nasal cavity, and to the back of the throat. This area is called your pharynx. It's the kind of like crossroad section. And the air will go not down the esophagus, it will go down this front hard tube called the trachea. It has hard cartilage rings, keeping it open all the time. A little piece of tissue right here called the epiglottis keeps food from going down your trachea, because if food goes down your trachea, it gets stuck and you'll choke. So the epiglottis helps prevent choking. When you breathe air out, it could vibrate these things. Your voice box, which is filled with vocal cords. The real name of your voice box is called the larynx. During puberty, males have an influx of testosterone, causing the vocal cords to thicken. That gives the sound that comes out of your voice, the sound that comes out of your larynx, a deeper sound. It also gives the appearance of an Adam's apple, the thickened vocal cords. So going back to breathing in, the air continues down the trachea, and it's going to eventually hit a kind of a cross section or a split. These 2 tubes that break off of the trachea are called the bronchi. These 2 tubes highlighted in this yellow-orange. These smaller bronchi, highlighted here in the green, these are called the bronchioles. Those names might sound familiar because there are common conditions people have. If the bronchi or bronchioles become irritated, that's called bronchitis. Anything that really ends in itis means irritation. Gingivitis, irritation of the gums. Dermatitis, irritation of the skin. arthritis, irritation of the joints. That could also lead to fluid or mucus buildup in your lungs. That condition is called pneumonia, a wild spelled word. Some people have substances that could cause constricting or spasming of the tubes as well. That's called asthma. In order to calm down the muscles that are squeezing, an inhaler is used which has steroids in it. Steroids do reduce swelling or spasms. As the air continues its journey, it's going to make it into these little air sacs, kind of like little balloons or little grapes on a vine. The air is going to go into those little empty air sacs called, we'll hold off on the name for a second. These air sacs, they're the final destination of the inhaled air. This is also where oxygen will enter the blood, the body, and this is where CO2, carbon dioxide, will leave the blood or leave the body. So this is the site of gas exchange, these air sacs. They're 1 cell thick to allow for the gas exchange. These air sacs are called the alveoli. Alveolus for singular. Let's take a look at this gas exchange. But in order to really understand it, we have to know these little blood vessels that are around the alveoli. They're called capillaries. They're also 1 cell thick, just like the alveoli, to allow for diffusion or the exchange of gases. Let's take a look at how the alveoli and the capillaries work to exchange gases. So the incoming air, it has oxygen in it. The majority of the air you breathe in has nitrogen, but oxygen is what you need. Oxygen will fill the alveoli up, and you're going to have blood coming to the lungs. The heart purposefully pumps blood to the lungs because that blood is low in oxygen and high in CO2. How does this exchange occur? Why does oxygen go into the blood and why does CO2 leave the blood? Material, you all know, likes to move from areas of high concentration to low concentration. Oxygen will diffuse from the alveoli into the blood, from high to low. Carbon dioxide diffuses from the capillaries into the alveoli, from high to low concentration. And now you're going to have all your CO2 loaded up in the alveoli and all your oxygen in the blood. The CO2, you're going to exhale it out. The oxygen in the blood is going to travel to the heart, and the heart is going to pump all that oxygen-rich blood around the body. So what actually causes you to breathe? Even if you try to hold your breath till you pass out, your body's going to take a breath in. The abundance of CO2 causes you to breathe, not the lack of oxygen. It's the abundance of CO2. The CO2 buildup in the blood is going to cause the pH of the blood to go down, meaning the blood's going to become more acidic. And this is terrible for your body because if the blood's too acidic, it can cause your proteins to denature, meaning they'll become permanently deformed and not work. Your hormones, your receptors, hemoglobin, everything. This part of the brain, the medulla, detects the drop in pH and it's going to cause you to breathe. The medulla controls all your vital life functions such as heartbeat, breathing, peristalsis. Without this, you cannot live. It controls all your involuntary actions that keep you alive. So this little muscle down here is called your diaphragm. It's located underneath the lungs. The diaphragm's the muscle that causes you to inhale and exhale. When this muscle moves downward, it moves down and it contracts. Like when you contract your muscles, you tighten them up. That causes you to breathe in. When this muscle relaxes and moves upward, you exhale out, causing you to breathe out. Again, this diaphragm is controlled by the medulla. That's it for the review video. Thank you for watching, and good luck.